Let's talk NBA Finals Game 5. Final score ended up being 120-109. My apologies. This is coming out a little bit later than what it normally would. We were filming the TV show at the beginning of the third quarter, and I wanted to make sure I watched that third quarter before I came here to talk to y'all. Shout out to TJ McConnell. Because before we started shooting, we going to halftime. I forget what the score was, but it's a big lead for OKC. We look back and be like, oh my God, it's down to 6. It's all TJ McConnell. Shout out to him. They just needed for everybody else to come along for the ride. We're going to talk about that in a little minute. Shout out to Pascal Siakam as well. I think we have to start off by talking about Dub. J-Dub just gave us not just the best performance of his postseason career, not just the best performance of his NBA Finals career, but maybe the best basketball performance he has ever put on in his life. We talking about 13U. We talk about high school. We talk about college. A good old 40 ball in the NBA Finals in a Game 5. It's insane work. 40 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. And when I tell you he showed every single tool in that bag, we talk about getting downhill, finishing at the basket, drawing contact, playing through that contact, getting to your mid-range shots, hitting those. And he did the thing that I asked him to do based on last game. He took threes today. Some of them just straight pull-up threes. Some of them just catch-and-shoot threes. He made 3 of them today. Hell, they made 3 as a team last game. Him, Lou Dort, Aaron Wiggins, and Kaysen all gave them 3+ threes tonight. Like, that is how they won last game, by the way. But that's how you really bounce back after a really poor performance. Again, a poor performance that they won. And I remember after Game 4, I was saying that, man, this is a game for the Pacers to win. And I bet that if they end up losing this series, which we're in closer and closer to maybe that being a reality, if they lost this series, that Game 4 blown game is going to be the one that they look back on and say, damn, we could have had it. Because a 3-1 series is so much more different than a 2-2 series. And boom, OKC has 2 shots to win 1 game. And the way they've been performing at home, it's going to be tough. My boy D Mills has a saying. I mean, a lot of people say this, but nobody says it more than Derek. He says, role players play better at home, and boy, did we see that today. Aaron Wiggins, who, again, after we talked about in game number 4, he had such a poor first half that when he did check into the game in the third quarter, I had it in my notes. Why? And in this game, he saved basketball. He saved the Oklahoma City Thunder. 4 made threes. Cason Wallace was an 0-4 for 3 going into this game. In this whole playoff series, he hit 3 big threes. And the defense, I think the defense is always going to be the thing that we talk about the most with this OKC Thunder team because it was so staggering. There were times in this game, especially in that first half, where the Pacers were just throwing the ball and turning the ball over, where there were possessions at a time where the Pacers couldn't even get 2 feet into the arc, not 2 feet into the paint, legitimately holding them on the outskirts of the court and locking their ass up. Like, again, it's a historic defense. I know I've said it a million different times, but I find it to be pleasurable to watch as a guy that has always loved great defensive teams. And even though Chet was poor from shooting today, his defense was so damn good. Shea, listen, we just talked about Dub's 40 points and how amazing that was. That 40 points was so loud and so electric that Shea having 31-10 and 6 stocks, nobody cares. Nobody cares if everybody in the league just had a 30-point game because Dub played that good as well. So, again, even though Chet didn't have a great offensive game, all of our big three young players that we believe in the most, swung this game. And that's scary stuff. Because it did feel like throughout the series, we rarely got all 3 of them having like super positive impacts. Again, the Chet scoring was dreadful today. I don't know what the hell has happened to him since he's come back from his injury. Regardless, the offense wasn't really there, but like he held it down. I mean, even playing at the level, playing through switches, which is something they did a lot in this game compared to some like the first 3 games. They found that down the stretch in game number 4, and they went to it quite a bit in this one. Isaiah Hartenstein's playmaking, I mentioned it before, it's just such a luxury to have on this team that just last game had, 10 assists total. They ended today's game with 24. The ball was moving, and Shea's 10 assists was a loud one, if you ask me, because, one of the criticisms that I have about these 2 guys, J-Dub and Shea, and it's a small criticism because they're so damn electric and so damn good, is that in times it does feel like, it's your turn to do it? All right, bet, I chill. It's your turn to do it? All right, bet, I chill. Of Shea's 10 assists, 3 of them went to Dub. And we had games at a time last series where both of them would end up with 5 assists each, and none of them were to each other. So they weren't really playing off each other. And in this game, again, at the end of last game, they kind of found some things where they were using Dub as a screener, and that's how we got the Neesmith onto Shea. And now we see them playing a little bit more in tandem in this game 5. I thought it was great. And I can't help but to say that this feels, again, you got to win one more game. So I don't want to be premature because the Pacers have showed us that this is a team that competes better than almost anybody in basketball. But damn, it's hard for me to believe that the Pacers can beat this OKC team twice back-to-back. I did just have to go look it up. The OKC Thunder have lost back-to-back games twice this season. One of them was just at the end of the year to the Lakers and the Houston Rockets, and one of them was earlier into the season, which I forget what those teams were. But, like, that's not a lot. They've played over 100 games so far this season. They played 100 games, and they've lost back-to-back games 2 times. That's uphill battle. Let's talk about the other side of things for the Indiana Pacers. I think Pascal Siakam was so amazing in that fourth quarter. You know, one of the criticisms we had about them when they blew that lead in Game 4 was that P. Skills didn't touch the ball. I think he took 1 shot attempt. He had 2 total touches in the entire fourth quarter. That's just not the way you're going to win this game because he is their best offensive score, I guess, is the best way we can really put it. And in this one, I thought that, you know, as they continue to get the game closer, Pascal Siakam played a huge part in that. But the conversation is obviously going to be about our boy Tyrese Halliburton. And I'm watching this game, and I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it quite a bit. He finished this game with 4 total points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds, 3 turnovers, 3 fouls. That's the final box score. 0 field goals, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. And I'm thinking about it. I think Tyrese Halliburton's biggest superpower at times is also his kryptonite. And what do I mean by that? Even though, you know, this let me look and see how many total turnovers Tyrese has had in this series. Tyrese Halliburton is one of the best assist-to-turnover players that we have in today's basketball. Maybe number 1. I don't know the exact stats. He is a guy that very rarely turns the ball over. So far in the series, yeah, it's been hell. It's been 3 turnovers, 5 turnovers, 4 turnovers, 5 turnovers in these games, and I would assume, and then tonight he ended up with 3. I would assume that's the most turnovers he's ever seen and ever had in a 5-game stretch. But before he went against this defense that is just so damn good, his biggest superpower is that he didn't turn the ball over. We talk about, you know, the entirety of this playoff run is like him not turning the ball over and him having the ball so much just means that we're getting a shot on rim more likely than not, and we're going to finish with a lot of attempts. Hell, we got great shooters in Neesmith and Nembhard and P. Skills, and even though Miles Turner can't hit the side of a backboard right now, we usually have good shooters, and if we get good shots on the board, then boom, we're going to be able to score. While you might struggle to score, you might go on a stretch you can't score in 3 minutes because of our efficiency and us not turning the ball over as a team, we're going to find a way to score more likely than not. But part of them doing that and part of Tyrese being able to do that is he is a low-risk taker in a way. They're so damn good offensively as a team where, like, they kind of understand where each of them is going. Again, before they saw this team that's going to turn them over 20 times a game. They just know each other so well that their ball is flying, but there's not a ton of risk-taking. And I think that the kryptonite of that is that we don't see games where Tyrese Halliburton takes the risk. We don't see games where he plays a little bit outside of his body because that might be what the team needs in this moment in time. They lost this game by 11 points. Again, at one point it felt a lot longer, a lot bigger than 11 points, but they fought back, and then OKC answered phenomenally in that fourth quarter. But if Halliburton has a normal Halliburton game, like a, season averages of 19-9, whatever the hell it was, even if it's a little bit less than that, this is a game you walk out of there with the win. But because this team, the OKC team, doesn't necessarily allow you to take those risks, and he's known as a somewhat of a non-risk taker in a way, then it's the anti-series for him. I'm sure that when we turn on TV tomorrow, it's going to be the number one topic of conversation. They're going to talk about Dub for a minute. They're going to talk about Shea and OKC being one game win. It's going to turn around to bloop. Tyrese Halliburton has 0 field goals. And I'm not even saying that they're wrong in that because 0 field goals is wild. But I think that my one thing that I would love for my boy Reese to end up doing, and whether it's in this series or we talk about the future of his career, because the motherfucker's made 2 All-NBA appearances already in his young career. I would love to see him just turn up Just turn up the, I don't know. I just want him to take more risks. And again, may not be the series for that because this damn team they're going against is flying around and jumping passing lanes, and don't you dare turn your back. I mean, the jump pass Tyrese Halliburton made cool again. He can't jump past this series. He just can't. They're just but like for the future of him and the future of this team, I would love for him to just take a little bit more risk. They may mean that you turn the ball over more than what we're used to, but then it might be worth it at the end of the day. We might have more 30-point games. We might have more 20-point games. We might have more 40-point games and so on and so forth. And it might be beneficial to the team long term, but who the hell am I? I'm just a dude on YouTube. But, man, to have that T.J. McConnell performance, another great one. I remember this series for T.J. McConnell no matter what happens. To have another T.J. McConnell game like this, and just need a little bit more from your guys, and they just don't really step up. It's something, man. It's something. I thought Shea did an amazing job punishing Miles Turner when he cat up to the level. That's something that, he's been able to do a lot. But I think we should spend a lot of time shining the light on Dub, and, again, shining the light on Shea. Last game, he had 0 assists. And the game they won, by the way, he had 0 assists. He looked out of his wits until we got to the last 3 minutes of that game. And in this game, I thought that it may have started off a little bit slow as far as that decision-making, but I thought that he eventually got to the point where he's making right decisions left and right. And if he's going to make right decisions, I don't know what you can take away. If he's going to make right decisions and the team is going to shoot well from 3, it's an uphill battle. The Thunder are 1 game away from being NBA final or being NBA champions, man. It's kind of nuts. We are closer and closer to the season being over. I don't want it to end, so come on, Pacers. Come on, give us a Game 7, man. We ain't had a Game 7 in the NBA Finals in quite some time. All right, I'm done.